The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you are encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not. And boy, are the comments flowing today, more than 40 so far. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. Welcome to the show. Well, I must say that I was a bit put off, more than just a little bit, by Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal's comments last night, hoping for President Obama to fail. Now, we would expect that as a frequently mentioned potential candidate for the Republican nomination for president, that Jindal would have a lot to say about how Obama is attacking the economic crisis that's gripping the nation and, by extension, the rest of the world. One would expect that as a member of the loyal opposition, Jindal would speak out against what he feels are wrong policies instituted by the White House. Fair enough. Not only, in my opinion, has he the right to do so, but one could argue the responsibility to counter the administration's proposals with those representative of his party's philosophies. No problem with that. But to wish that the president fail, well, that, as I pointed out in my blog today, is, in my opinion, blatantly un-American. Now, one could argue, as I have on the blog, that Jindal wishes the president to fail because if the economy further collapses, well, that makes it easier for him or another Republican to run against Obama next election. But if he fails, don't all of us suffer? So Jindal will not only encourage the suffering of the American people for what is clearly partisan political gain. My posting on the blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, has obviously struck a chord. More than 40 people thus far have sounded off. Most of them happen to agree with me. Some disagree. That's okay. But I think it's time for the Republican Party to do what they promised during their national convention in St. Paul, Minnesota. It was then that they revealed their Country First campaign. So right now I am going to publicly challenge Governor Jindal and others, including GOP mouthpiece Rush Limbaugh, who previously cheered for Obama's failure, to do just that. Put country first and party second. You guys know I'm a little more tempered usually in my commentary leading up to our shows. But I'm really disgusted by this turn of events. I want to know what you have to think about that or have to say about that. Let's start with Minneapolis. Malik, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com. Earth to Malik. No Malik. Let's go to Eric. Eric, welcome in Brooklyn. Welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Hi, Gary. Good afternoon. Well, I was rather nonplussed when I read about Senator Governor Jindal's comments. Now, if we were to apply the same measurement that the Republicans applied to anyone who criticized George W. Bush and the war, the case could be made that Governor Jindal is a traitor. But you see, we're not going to apply the same measurement that the Republicans would apply to us, because it would just make us at their level. It would just prove that we are as bad as the Republicans, and quite frankly, we don't need to do that. We've already proven our case that we have better leadership, we have better plans, we have better goals, we have better ways of getting things done, and apparently the Republicans can do nothing but keep sending idiots to run for office. When they actually start sending people who are halfway intelligent and are moderately educated, then we can talk. When they can actually apply a solution to the situations that we have, then we can talk. But until then, this is just the Republicans proving, once again, that number one, they put party over country, and number two, that they keep sending stupid people to run for office. Thank you, Gary.
Well, thank you, Eric. Let me just point out to the person who goes by the nickname Flanker, who's writing in text, that I'm a mouthpiece for the Democratic Party, reading Democratic Party talking points. Flanker, you know nothing about me, because if you were a regular listener to the show, you would know that I equally criticize the Democrats as I do the Republicans. And those are not Democratic talking points. Those are my talking points. And I will stand behind what I have to say and not attribute them to somebody else. I don't need some party hack, neither Republican nor Democrat, as some talk show hosts do, to hand me the talking points to conduct my program. If I'm going to stick my foot in my mouth, it will be at least my foot in my mouth, not somebody else's. So pay attention before you accuse me of that. I happen to be sick and tired of partisan politics. I'm equally disappointed in the Democrats and the Republicans, and this is a prime example of a Republican Party leader putting his party first ahead of the country. And I would say the same for any Democrat who did likewise. And there's been a lot of hypocrisy on the Democratic side of the aisle, and I have pointed that out, and I will continue to point that out. So you're welcome to say whatever you want, Flanker, but at least know what you're talking about. You know, like the president says, he doesn't speak until he knows what he's talking about. Then if you disagree with what he has to say, at least it's him, not somebody pulling his string who's talking. This is me talking. So if you don't like what I'm saying about Jindal, fine, tell me so. Tell me I'm full of it. But these are my points, not the Democratic Party's points, and I will stand by what I am saying. Okay, I know I'm a little hyped up today. Who's my next caller, Boaz? I'm sorry.
Okay, your next caller is John from St. Louis.
Oh, yeah, my buddy John from St. Louis. John, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Thank you, Gary. I want to remind everybody about the True Stampede show tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the PL4 room, Politics Lobby 4. Gary, this is the only thing I'm going to agree on right here is I agree that Republicans do not have a leader right now, okay? They do not have a leader. But the one thing I will say, Gary,